Hello, everyone, and time for a new episode of Hardly Working Hard, the way to make your life easier when you have to go to work. I have a few things written down today that we're going to talk about. Things that your boss will complain about because he thinks this isn't the way it should be. Well, I have different thoughts. So here they are. I wrote down three for you today. Number one, the boss will complain about you showing up late for work. Well, to the average person, that may mean if your work starts at 8 o'clock, you got there at 8:05. But they failed to remember that you had to set your alarm, get out of bed, get a shower, get dressed, get in the car, drive all the way to work, and you wouldn't be doing these things at 7 something in the morning if you weren't on your way to work. So I think that time spent getting to work should count as being at work because it's all work related, right? Right. I had a job way back in 2006 to 2008 where I would build electronic components. And at the time, I worked with another guy who was there, and he was a smoker. So he would go out on every cigarette break outside. And he would show up on time, and he would usually not have his things done by the time UPS was coming to pick up their load around 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon. Me, I was always done on time, if not early. But the problem I had was we had to be at work, and I think it was 7:30, and well, I had to drive 32 miles to get to this job. And at the time, I was a hardcore World of Warcraft player. So you don't just get up in the morning and, get in the car and go to work. You have to play WoW for a while. You have to get your shower. You got to do this. And then you can get in the car and go to work. And I got to tell you, many times my drive to work was an all out, desperate road race to get to work. And if anybody got in my way at all, I would be late. About 10 miles of my drive to work was all out through 1.5 lane wide road through farmland. And if I got behind an old lady driving slow or a dump truck or something, there was almost no place you could pass them, even when you're a complete maniac like I had to be a lot of the time. So I might get to work around 7:35, 7:40, and the big boss is all, oh, you're coming in late to work. Hey, my work gets done on time. And even the one guy who was the smoker who worked with me, he would complain, well, you show up late to work every day. Yeah, number one, my work is done. And number two, you go out and smoke 4 or 5 times a day, costing yourself a lot of time where you could be in here getting your job done. Oh, he didn't have an answer for that, but he didn't like that one. Anyhow, I was ultimately de-employed from the place because I came in late now and again. And never mind the fact my job was done right and on time. You know, I, you showed up 5 minutes late. You can't have that. And they always, of course, the managers always have the answer. Just leave home earlier. Yeah, like it's that easy to leave work. I have to get on and play WoW for a while. I can't get up too early in the morning. And, all I have to go through, I'm driving 32 miles to get here at a time for $12 an hour. And this is my thanks. I want to appreciate nothing I put myself through every day trying to get here. Oh, well, what about this other woman who works here? She lives almost as far away from you. Yeah, in a little bit different direction. About half of her drive to work was the same as mine. They don't want to hear that. These managers, they think they know everything. They think they have all the answers. Oh, just leave home earlier and you'll be to work on time. Yeah, it's not that simple. I got things to do. My whole life is not work. They don't want to hear that. All right. Complaint number two that bosses will have. All your work for today isn't done. Well, when you're doing work at work, work is like bills. If you don't pay the bill on time, don't worry. It'll be there tomorrow. You can get it then. Same thing with work. Didn't get it all done today? Don't worry. That's what tomorrow's for. How about some overtime? How about I'll come in on the weekend if I have to, if it's that important to you? Oh, we can't. Yeah, we shouldn't have to pay you extra time to get the job done when someone else did it all in their own amount of time. Ah, okay, whatever you think. And then my number three, leaving early. Well, if all my work for the day is legitimately done and I'm sitting around for an hour or two with nothing to do because all my work for today is done, then why should I leave early? You know, and some jobs, maybe if you're on salary versus an hourly pay rate, this can have a bad effect on your paycheck. So you might not want to do that. And that hour sitting around just waiting there for the dollars to click up in your paycheck, that's hard. In my early years of IT work when I did desktop support, frequently in most jobs I had, we had a lot of freedom to ourselves, which was not a good thing for someone with my work ethic. Most of the jobs I had, we would have anywhere from 1 to 5 buildings to go to in a fairly small area, maybe spread out by a couple of miles. And you could say, "Oh, I'm not leaving to go home. I'm going to the other building to check on a laptop computer for such and such name." Well, maybe I went to that building and then went home. Maybe I went straight home. Who's to say? Who knows? The bottom line was the job was done. The work for the day was complete. So it's a darn good thing we make money at work. Otherwise, I'd have no need for it at all. So that's my episode for today of Hardly Working Hard, Part 3.